I'm Tony.
I'm Louie.
And this is Talking During the Movie.
It's the Talking During the Movie podcast with your hosts, Louie Gravance and Tony Whitten.
Our first one of 2018. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Did you have a good holiday season and New Year's and all that?
Oh, I hate the holidays.
Oh, that's right. We talked about this.
Yeah. But the New Year has started fantastic.
What did Chad get you?
Chad, I am sitting on what Chad gave me. No, I mean, Chad, no.
Do I want to know what he got you?
Chad constructed this booster seat for me.
Oh, fantastic.
So that I can see you more eye to eye. Thank you, Chad.
Oh.
And I got Chad some blue champagne.
Oh, we were supposed to get Chad something.
I got Chad something.
Oh. I thought, him keeping his job was his
Okay,
gift.
all right.
Oh.
Now, about the movie this week, I
Yes.
don't have any idea what you would think of it or what frame of reference you would have to ingest it or...
Well, the movie we're reviewing this week is Steven Spielberg's The Post. About not the New York Times reveal of the Pentagon Papers, but the Washington Post, which I thought was an interesting story.
Yeah, did you not know this story? Did you not know how this rolled?
No, not to this detail. No, not at all.
Mm-hmm. For people, because a lot of people, you're old now. And so you're beginning to assume that people younger than you know everything. And the Pentagon Papers was a situation where the government did this study so that they would keep it and be able to talk amongst themselves, where they deciphered that the Vietnam War had been largely a sham and that they knew for at least 10 years that there was no possible way they could win it. And these secret papers, government papers, were found and shown to the public.
Yes, and published.
At the Pentagon Papers.
Yes.
First by the New York Times, who then got the court slapped on them, and then the New York Post found them
and published even more of it.
What did you
despite the court order?
What did you think of this movie?
Well, it's classic Spielberg.
Yes.
It's got his thumbprints all
everywhere.
Over it. Everywhere. The classic framing, the push in to introduce, and on the important moments, the cinematography.
Lots of performances from people in crowds, like looking in lots of that, like people in audiences giving performances of like reaction shots,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is textbook Steven Spielberg.
Well, that's funny that you're saying that because I feel about this movie exactly the way I felt about Bridge of Spies. Exactly.
Yeah. It's very similar
in that it is
in tone, in look, even the main actor even. Yeah.
You know what? Which means it is a perfectly... I'm sorry.
No, continue, please. Go ahead.
Perfectly serviceable movie.
To get back and forth.
You couldn't say that it's a badly made movie.
No, not at all.
You couldn't say it is. But you know what? I think it's one of his lesser works, and I think it's. You would say, oh, it's almost pedestrian. Maybe because I had just seen a documentary about Ben Bradley, which I highly recommend. Look, it's out on Netflix right now. It's great, which also covers this time, and. Was more interesting.
Yeah, it's almost textbook to the point where you know the beats. It's a good story. It's Steven Spielberg, but there is nothing
perfectly well made movie.
Yes. There's nothing wrong with it other than there is nothing new to it.
There's nothing great about it.
Yeah,
and it tells.
Well, everyone in it is really great.
It tells
like some comedians that are playing more dramatic roles. It's neat to see them expand. And do some neat acting stuff. Everyone in it is great.
Except one. I don't think Tom Hanks is good in this movie.
No?
I do not think he's good in the movie. And I think he's part of the problem.
I think there's only so much for him to do, but I thought Tom Hanks was fine in it.
Okay, this
not bad.
This is what I think is part of the problem with the movie. It tells the story of how the papers were found and all that, but it misses the opportunity to set context. For example, I was a little kid when that happened. What the movie doesn't set up is the context of which, there was no national newspaper. This was pre-USA Today. Most people that lived outside of a metropolitan area had no access to the New York Times or the LA Times or the Washington Post.
Well, they mentioned Washington Post is which we think of as more of a national paper now. but they mention how it's fairly local. It's not national at all.
Okay, but
Yeah.
the average
addressed.
American, this was a period of time when Americans were remarkably and ill-informed. There was 30 minutes on.
What do you mean this was a time?
Well, no, because see, this is the thing I'm saying. See, this was the chance. No, now it's different now. Now we're misinformed. And this is the thing that I felt that they missed.
But isn't that the point of the movie? Is that even back then they were being misinformed by the people that should have?
But then you had a window. You had to, and if you couldn't even tape the news. I mean, you had this much time to catch what was going on, and a white man, a middle-aged white man, would sum up an important thing in 90 seconds. For example, when this came out, it took weeks, months, for America to soak in what it wasn't like. Okay, it came out and everyone went, "Oh my God!"
Yeah,
Did
not
you
everyone
hear?
was scandalized at the same time.
It took forever, and there wasn't a news network that was on 24 hours a day going, "It's not true. They hate America and they hate your president." There wasn't that.
Yeah.
The news.
It was a different time.
The news people said this is how this rolled, and people went, "Oh, this is how this rolled," and
Right. You had Walter Cronkite, who was a bit more.
So it just sort of tells you the story without
subjective.
any real context, so that it could live, so that it's as vital, and they underscore it with this sort of Mission Impossible kind of like you're seeing some sort of espionage film, and you're not. And I thought that was.
It did have that Bridge of Spies feel, where
I thought
where
that was
the subject matter was rather plain. I mean, there really wasn't that much going on.
I would
wasn't
say
too much.
I would say watch this movie on television.
You could watch it on television. You don't have to see it in the big.
Absolutely, watch it on television, and then go to Netflix and see some of the really remarkable documentaries that are done about these people and this incident.
Well, perhaps it'll inspire people more to find out more.
Right.
To remember their history.
But I don't know that there's.
And despite a period piece, it is meant to be very now. It is meant to relate to what's happening in this country now. Like even more so, like he's almost saying, this is important, America.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a little bit of that in there. I won't say heavy-handed, but medium weight-handed.
And just for one last piece of historical context, because I'm even older, is that this incident was the John the Baptist for Watergate. That without this incident, it set up the context that this is what the news organizations were doing, and there is one great device.
And then go watch All the President's Men right after this movie.
There is one great device, and that is that they shoot the Oval Office and Nixon from behind talking on the phone, and they're actually playing the tapes of him. Those are the actual tapes of Nixon speaking about the Washington Post and this incident. And I thought that was the most clever part of the film.
Yeah, it's not like someone made up to look like Nixon. It's obviously an actor, but it's shot from behind, so it's not like the full on Nixon.
And you're hearing the real.
Yeah, it's an interesting take on it. Yeah.
So there's so many more interesting things to see right now at the movies. There are so many more interesting things to see.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that was like rushed in at the end of award season that's now coming up for there's Lady Bird, There's Shape of Water, and things like that.
Have you seen The Greatest Showman?
I have not.
Oh!
Well, my girlfriend and I, we have like opposite schedules always, and she's a huge musical person like that. So we have simply not aligned times to go see this, and I can't go see it without her.
Okay, we're deviating.
That would not fly.
Okay, but there's a sing-along version now.
Like Mamma Mia?
Yes. Okay, this is much better. Okay,
Will there be a Mamma Mia sequel sing-along?
Probably. Now, listen. This is the story. Okay, this is purportedly a story about P.T. Barnum and the circus era, right around the turn of the 1900s. Yeah. And P.T. Barnum bringing Jenny Lind and the circus to America. And the fascinating thing is, it is about virtually none of the things I just mentioned. Virtually, it is. Okay, do you remember Burlesque a few years ago?
Oh.
Okay. This is for straight people what Burlesque was for gay people. I'm telling you, I've gone.
Some people are losing their shit over this movie.
I've gone more than
Losing
once.
their shit.
I've gone more than once.
Yeah?
It is
To Burlesque or this movie?
Well, I went to Burlesque 5 times.
Really?
Yes, I own Burlesque.
Really?
Where to say I do. But now,
Okay.
wait, don't. Okay,
I'm not judging you on that one.
now, this movie is so gay. This movie is so stupid, but it's so fantastically fun. It is
Like Moulin Rouge?
it's like an episode of Glee with bearded ladies and Hugh Jackman.
Oh, okay.
Only like a really good episode of Glee. The music
have a
has
good one.
nothing to do with the period. It is a montage with periodic pieces of a movie.
Okay.
And it is hysterical fun. It's ridiculous. It is hysterical fun. You know,
Over the top.
I mean, you've got Siamese twins whimsically doing the splits and
That's got to be tough.
jive dancing. It's just, oh my God. Oh my God, it is so fantastically ridiculous. I've been more than... And, okay, so I go the second time, and the theater now is packed.
Word has gotten out.
Packed with people that, like, go to the movies, like, twice a year. And I'm sitting between people that I do not know. Okay, so the lights come on at the end, and there are tears. There are tears among many people in the audience. And the lady to me goes, I don't know when I've seen a movie that good. That is the best. And the woman to my left is doing the same freaking show. And as I'm leaving, people are going, that's a hell of a movie. You know, who knew the circus would suddenly be cool the minute Ringling died? This is just so strangely ironic.
Maybe they harken back for these times.
When this act, okay, so I got a little gay right there. But I'm telling you, I just want you to know. And I saw I, Tonya today.
I
Tonya Harding.
haven't seen it yet.
Okay, Run, Don't Walk.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. I didn't know if that was going to be our next movie or not. But
Oh, well, it can be.
I don't know.
We'll go.
We'll see.
But,
We'll see.
well,
I'm
if you
gonna
ever
see it. I was
go
planning
to
on
the
going to see it.
movies, I mean, you know,
Yeah,
I
there's
mean,
like 5 or 6 out there I still need to see. So we gotta
So,
crank them out.
basically, the movie that we're having our show about, it's a movie you don't need to go see. Even though it's a movie that's perfectly well crafted.
Yeah, it's a fine. I'd say it's a good afternoon movie, but you honestly you don't have to rush out
There's
to see it.
too many other
You don't.
things.
Yeah, it's just it's nothing new, but it's like it like I said, it's Spielberg. It's like having good.
Go
pizza.
see The Shape
It's
of
still
Water. Go
Yeah.
see, you know.
Yeah, I want to
Go to the sing-along of The Greatest Showman.
I'm looking forward to like Spielberg's Player One, where there's going to be some throwbacks. There's going to be some new stuff. It's going to be more of his, you know, on the fun side rather than the award side of Spielberg. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is standard Spielberg, and I'd like to. I'd
This
like
is
to see something
forgettable,
a little new, a little fun.
except for there's a couple great scenes with Meryl Streep, but of course there are. You know,
Yeah.
like, you know, it's like a
there's-
reliable hooker.
There's
you know
setups,
she's gonna
there's payoff.
kiss well, and
It's-
she's gonna
it's-
make you laugh at dinner, and she's gonna show you
Yeah,
a good time.
there's not a lot of
Very reliable.
There's not a lot of surprises. I mean, people know the story, but there's just not that much new. Is all. So it's a good movie. It's fine. But yeah, you don't need to rush out and see this on the big screen. But I do recommend it. At some point, go see it.
Oh, and don't go see. You do not need to go see Pitch Perfect 3. You see, I'm back with the movies, man. I am.
Yeah.
I have hit the ground running.
I see that.
I've hit the ground running.
Yes, it's bringing out the Louis.
So, I just want to say that it's not everybody's going to agree about this greatest showman thing.
There was some discussion today where I was at, and there were definitely like two camps. There were people that were passionate. There were people like, what the hell?
Well, it's
these
both,
and
both
these,
are
and
right.
these are musical theater people.
Exactly, and both are correct. Wow, isn't this great? And what? Both
Both are correct. There is room for both people.
More than one thing can
There
be
are room
true
for
at the same time. This is something I keep trying to hit on lots of people I know. More than one thing can be true at the same time. And it's going to make a ridiculous amount of money when it goes to Broadway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do you think there'll be a sequel?
I'm not talking about The Post.
The Greatest
Yeah.
Showman 2?
No, this thing's going to Broadway. It is.
What about The Post? Do you think there'll be a musical?
That would be. You know what? That would almost be better. In fact, that would be better. You know, like by song.
You heard it here first, people.
You know what? That would be good, like by
The
song.
Post, the musical.
Because then it could be all moody and stuff.
And it'll be, right down the street from the New York
You know,
Times.
like, okay, there could be a number where Ben Bradley is looking at a picture of Kennedy going, I remember Jack, I remember Jack, I remember. And then Katharine Graham is like looking at a picture of her husband who committed suicide, talking about how she, and you could do this sort of juxtaposition of moodiness.
If only there was a Broadway show about memory. A song.
Shut up.
What? Sung by Cat.
You know what?
What?
He's trying to get that sucker made.
Cat's the movie?
Yes. With like how they do that now with the dogs talking. He wants those freaking cats to sing.
Like animated cats actually
Like
singing?
they did in the Jungle Book. Like
the live action one? Like live action
that.
cats singing?
Memories. Like it sounds freaking scary to me.
No,
that sounds horrible.
That's a terrible idea.
This is just horrible.
No, we don't need a live action Cats the musical.
Oh!
No.
Well, doesn't that sound scary?
It sounds terrible.
And you're a cat person.
I prefer cats to dogs, yes.
Well, he's hell bent on getting this sucker made.
Well, hurry up. He ain't getting any younger. Because, we're old now.
Okay. You got a lot with the show.
You got a lot.
I mean, this was jam-packed, man.
And then we give you jam-packed.
Jam-packed, all right.
Yeah, and this is just the start of the year, folks. This is just the start.
The start of the year.
Wait till you see what else we got planned. Because we
The
don't.
rocks get found in the crown of the Circus King.
Cats. All right, this is fun.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Well, I'm looking forward to our next one.
And you know what?
And Oscars will be coming up soon. They just had the Golden Globes, and now
Thank you, Chad. Oh, God, those were a maudlin affair. I don't want to get into it.
We won't get into that. Only the Oscars for us. We only got so much time. It's all right. Calm down. It's all good. All right. Well, thank you very much for watching, everybody.
I'm Louie.
I'm Tony.
And this has been
Talking During the Movie. Only the Oscars for us. Only the top. Only top tier.